Hello again. I hope you had a great day today and that everything wound up just perfect for you and that you had a wonderful time. We're going to be starting another story today. And the story of Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego that we talked about, that was written down in a book called the Book of Daniel that's in the Bible. And the Book of Daniel also has a story about, and that's how it gets its name, a man named, guess what? Daniel. And this is the story that everybody knows about him. It takes place a little bit later in the same kind of area that Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego lived, but a few years later. It goes like this. A new king came to power in Babylon. His name was King Darius. Darius had a very large kingdom. And one day he appointed 3 rulers to help take care of his people. Because it was too big a job for him, because it was too big a kingdom. He needed help. And he looked for good people to do it. That's always a good thing to do. If you need help, find somebody you can depend on, somebody that knows what they're doing, somebody who's trustworthy. Well, when he did, he found 3 people, and one of those people was Daniel. Daniel was a very hard worker, and he always did a good job, and people trusted him. King Darius liked Daniel. And King also noticed that Daniel prayed to his God 3 times a day. 3 times. He didn't just say his prayers at bedtime. He spent some serious time more than once. In fact, more than twice. 3 times. It's good to have regular times when you take time out in the day to pray to God and talk to him. Let him know how things are going. It can make it even a bad day a good day, because when things are going bad, you can talk to God about it. And if the day is going well, then you can say thank you and really just be happy. Just be happy with God. We call that praising God. And so Daniel did that 3 times a day. And once Daniel was put in charge, like the king wanted him to be, only the king would be more powerful than Daniel. And here they are looking off the balcony in the castle and looking at some of the lands where Daniel would be exercising his power. So Daniel was advising the king, but Daniel was setting aside time every day to take advice from God. And so if he's paying attention to what God wants, things are going to go well. You can be pretty sure of that. And it wasn't that he was especially wise like Solomon. It wasn't that he was especially strong like Samson. It wasn't that he was especially good at music like David. He was just a regular person who knew to listen to God. He was what they call a person of prayer. Didn't mean that he was speaking all the time. It meant he was listening. And listening, that's a big part of prayer, because prayer is talking with God. You don't always hear a voice like Samuel did. Sometimes you just hear in your heart. And that's what happened with Daniel. He always heard God with his heart. And that's what made him a great person. And how that worked out, we're going to hear about tomorrow. Say your prayers. and go to bed. Good night.